Francis, yesterday you were saying investigate the perceiver, not that which is perceived. And in doing that, a question for me arose around in sight. I find it seems easier to do. When I look out, or there's looking out, in touch, in hearing, but for the sense of internal sensations, and then we're getting back to this quality of intimacy and personal or impersonal. I find it, there's like a little hook there that immediately, I feel this, me, Paula feels this. Is there a distinction, is there like a real distinction between all of these senses? Is it, my mind would say, well, it should be equal.
Right. It's just because they're all perceptions appearing in awareness. It's just that some of those perceptions you have put the label me on them. So what you are acknowledging in a very innocent way, is precisely this labeling. This labeling is stubborn. But this labeling it me and not me, is stubborn. But the fact that it is stubborn doesn't make it right. So you have to investigate the righteousness of it, or the truth of it. And don't allow for the stubbornness of it to make you give up. Because that which matters is not the stubbornness or the resiliency of it, but the truth of it. At the end of the day, the most resilient habit will give up, will be vanquished by the truth. Always. And you have to see clearly why your mind is telling you, no, that's not me. It's because it is something that appears in me. Another way to... It seems that our surroundings, that the message, like what we see, what we hear, the messages, the perception, the sense perceptions that we receive from the outside world, it seems that they are changing all the time. It seems to us, however, that our bodily sensations are always there with us, always the same. But if you take a closer look at it, that is simply false too. Because there are external perceptions that are quite repetitive. Your house, your bedroom, your bathroom, your husband's face, whatever. and there are internal sense perception that are kind of one of a kind, some strange illness you had with bizarre sensations, or a toothache. Fortunately, it doesn't happen all the time. So when you investigate, you see that external perception and bodily sensations, when considered from the vantage point of awareness, are on an equal footing. The only difference about our body is that it seems that we have control over our body, that we can control the movement of our hands, for instance, and that we don't control the movement of the world. But even that is not true. When you drive your car, you control the movements of your car with great precision. Control the speed, you control the direction. If you play a musical instrument, you control the sound, which is not produced by you, by your body. It's produced by the instrument, through the body. But you control it with a great subtlety. So we should then call the car or the musical instrument our body. It is an extension of it. That's what it becomes, yeah. So ultimately the entire world is an extension of our body. Also, there are many functions of our bodies that we have no control over. Digestion, circulation, immune system, etc. So that happens by itself. Just like things happen in the world, our body has a mind independently from what we want the body to do. What we have control over in our body, seemingly, is perhaps 1% of what our body does, even less than that. But even this control that we have is a mock control, because we don't control our thoughts. It is our brain, let's say, that decides our thoughts. So in fact, we have zero control. The question is, who is aware? And the logic, when we understand all of that, this deep interconnection of the body with its surroundings, the absence of control we have over the functions of the body, we understand that it is a functioning universe that we have to consider. Now, if it is a functioning universe that we have to consider, what is it that perceives? It must be this functioning universe that perceives too. After all, it does everything else. It would be very strange that this universe would do everything else, would do all the doing, all the functions, all the thinking, and wouldn't do the perceiving. You see what I mean? It would be kind of preposterous. Obviously, that which does everything must be also doing the perceiving. In other words, that which is aware in us is a universe. It's not a person. Our awareness is universal. The personal awareness is a myth. Just as a personal doer is a myth, just as a personal thinker is a myth, a personal awareness is a myth.